So how do you, since we're here with Texas Best Docs, how do you know the co-founders of Texas Best Docs?
So Barry Howell is the CEO of our practice. I have known him for a year, but he has an excellent reputation throughout the DFW community, is very well connected, and I've known of him for many years.
And, you know, we've asked you to come on this podcast to highlight, because there's so many good doctors out there, you being one of them. But why do you think what they're doing with the website and the subscription that you can get with tracking doctors, why do you feel like that is so important?
I think it's important for really every level of healthcare consumption. I think it's important for the lay person who's going and looking for a doctor to make sure that not only do they have maybe good personality and good results that you see on Google, but does the board think that they are appropriate to continue to care for patients? Mm-hmm. I also think it's important from our standpoint. I know several surgeons that have good outcomes around this area who have had some very bad outcomes or some bad past things that patients might want to know about. And so it's important to have that information. You know, we live in an information age where so many things are available, but you may not know how to get it. Mm-hmm. What's great about Texas Best Docs is it brings all the information that you would want to need all into one source for you.
So it doesn't necessarily make you feel, as a doctor, having that information out there. I mean, obviously, you don't have any issues.
I would hope not.
Yeah.
I think all of us want to stand behind our record. And if you don't think you can stand behind your record, you should find another profession.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't have put it better myself. That's a good way to go about it. And, you know, you're a doctor. You refer patients a lot. So another part of Texas Best Docs is that you as a doctor can track physicians that you refer patients to. Explain how that makes you feel, or what you like about that or dislike about that.
I love being able to have the information brought to me. It's a busy job being a doctor, and you have your patterns of who you refer to, who takes care of your patients. And if something comes up, I may not be checking into things all the time, but this will allow me to know if something is happening to one of my referring doctors that they've either gotten into trouble one way or another.
And, you know, let's separate you from doctor now. And as a husband, as a brother, as a son, you know, as a father, number one, what is this, you know, change hopefully in healthcare to be able to see this stuff mean to you?
This gives me the assurance that when I'm recommending a doctor for my parents back home in San Antonio, even though they're hundreds of miles away from me, that they're already pre-vetted to an extent. Even though I don't know that doctor, I can trust that they're going to be taken care of very well.
Yeah. And, you know, you have, you know, 4 children, and finding them the right pediatricians and being able to make sure they're taken care of. One of the things that I've learned through, you know, Texas Best Docs is that there are some doctors out there that have been practicing for 30 plus years and have had clean records for, you know, 20 of those. And now all of a sudden, ding, something happens. So being able to track and make sure that nothing is going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. And you can see what the board has reported and what has happened. Sometimes you can look at it and say, that's not a big deal.
We're cool.
We all understand somebody makes a complaint that may or may not be legitimate. Or sometimes you can look at something and say, well, that's important to know. I'm really glad that I have seen that.
Yeah, does that happen a lot where there's like actions where the board's looking into it because there's been complaints that are kind of just like, are you serious?
The board is required to look into every complaint, whether or not it's legitimate or not. And you can kind of read between the lines on whether or not something is important or whether it's just a mandatory investigation.